Hi, we're the North Salinas JSA. We're a grassroots organizing group based in Salinas, dedicated to empowering youth and becoming leaders and activists, creating a better tomorrow for our community, our country, and our world. We've been around for almost 2 years now, and so much has happened in that short time. We've elected a new government, endured a constitutional crisis, and dealt with the growing threat of climate change and many other issues. We've seen global injustices and witnessed an unprecedented amount of unrest, protests, violence, and social progress, all while dealing with the fallout from the worst public health crisis in over a century. And through it all, JSA has advocated, organized, and mobilized for social justice in each of these areas and so many others. But there is one issue we don't talk nearly enough about and hope to change today. While it affects the lives of so many people every day, it has become increasingly important to talk about because of the events of the last year. That issue is mental health. In more ways than one, 2020 has been traumatic. Many of us have lost loved ones, while others are terrified of contracting and spreading this virus. Some of us have struggled during this forced isolation and feel very lonely, while others are still coping with the stress and shock of a radically different world than the one we knew just 1 year ago. While things are rapidly improving, for many of us that traumatic experience is still not over, and will not be for some time. And until that experience is finally over, our mental health could continue to suffer. Trauma is among the lead causes of mental illness, and it's no surprise that we've seen a spike in loneliness and depression in the last year. Today, JSA wants to remind you that at a time as difficult as these, it's okay to not be okay. You've lived through some of the most traumatic events our world has ever seen, and you deserve some credit for that. You've been learning and living through a pandemic for a year now, and it's alright if you're tired. It's alright if you feel burnt out. It's alright that you're not the best you've ever been right now, because none of us are. We want to encourage you to always remember that at the end of all this, healing will be possible, that you are enough, and to treat yourself with all the love and kindness that you deserve. If you're in need of a little extra support, that's okay too. Don't hesitate to reach out. There are good folks in your life who can offer whatever kinds of assistance you need, whether it's just a little comfort or a person you can rant to, a shoulder to cry on, or someone who can just make you smile. These supports aren't just in your immediate social circles, but are everywhere. There are hotlines you can call or text, websites you can visit, and many other aids that are available 24/7. You just have to believe that you are so much more than your worst days, and that whatever resources you need are out there. If you remember that, then things will get better. Now, if you feel that you want to do something to help improve the situation that we currently find ourselves in, and that has caused so much trauma for so many people, then listen up, because there are things that you can do to help today. JSA is organizing our second COVID relief fundraising campaign, and we are inviting you to help us fundraise. From March 14th to May 13th, our group will be raising money for the California Community Foundation. We're calling this effort Cookies for COVID because we will be selling cookie dough to help raise money for the foundation's important and comprehensive work in ending the long nightmare that this pandemic has been. Together we can raise huge sums of money and support families and individuals who have struggled during this last year. From the families that have had to sleep on the streets because they couldn't pay rent, to the healthcare workers whose hospitals have been overrun while they remain under-resourced. From the senior citizens, medically vulnerable, and essential workers who need vaccinations now, to the BIPOC and low-income communities who are too often overlooked and too frequently left behind. From the youth struggling with distance learning, to the students unable to overcome things like the digital divide or food insecurity, to all those who've had to deal with the loss and pain that COVID has presented us with, we fundraise for them. And together we can make a real difference in their lives and in the life of this planet, which still battles with this virus. We can make that difference today. We can only do it with your help, and we hope that you'll join us.